This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated. Jihadist Psychopath by Dr. Jamie Glazov. I will tell you as an expert on Sharia, as a former child bride who has suffered and faced my own jihadi psychopath. I want you to go and order this book on Amazon.com or go to jamieglazov.com. Get a copy for yourself. You know why? Because you need to be equipped with the knowledge to fight our enemy so you can save your daughters and your granddaughters from future of Islam.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, doctor pressured out for asking for Niqab-Unveiling. The wonderful and glorious world of Sharia law. Ladies and gentlemen, as I discuss in many of my videos, what a dark, what a surreal, what an absurd and Kafkaesque world we're entering as we're watching our suicide and surrender in the face of stealth jihad, Sharia law. A doctor in the United Kingdom, Dr. Keith Wolverson, has stated that he is planning to quit medicine over an investigation of him by his superiors over claims that he discriminated against a Muslim woman. Guess what he did? He asked her to remove her face veiling. Oh, how did they allow this evil guy to work for so long? Dr. Wolverson politely asked the woman to lift the face covering of her niqab during a consultation last year because he was unable to hear her explain her sick daughter's symptoms. Okay? So he's a doctor. A Muslim woman's in his office wearing a niqab. He can't understand or hear what she's saying. He was so racist and Islamophobic by asking her to lift her face veil because he was concerned about her daughter and wanted to help her. That racist! Whew. Now, for what the doctor did, he ended up receiving a letter from the General Medical Council, the professional regulator, informing him that he was subject to an inquiry over allegations of racial discrimination, which could result in his firing. Dr. Wolverson, who has practiced for 23 years and has an unblemished record, has stated, as I said earlier, that regardless of the outcome of this investigation, he plans to leave his job. So, my other videos recently, I've talked about the manager of a lingerie store that was fired because a woman in a hijab, wearing hijab, wants to work at the lingerie shop now. He was fired. Now we've got a doctor who can't hear what his patient is saying, but if he asks her to lift her face veil while she's wearing the niqab, he's fired too because he's a racist and probably a white supremacist as well. Hugh Fitzgerald, who does excellent work at Jihad Watch, has written on this at Jihad Watch. The title of his recent blog on this, quote, "A British GP hounded out of medicine by Muslim claims," end of quote. Now, he's told this story. And, go read it. Fitzgerald does amazing work. And Fitzgerald writes about how Dr. Wolverson has told his side of the story and how the Muslim woman, Dr. Wolverson, has stated how she brought her daughter, age 10 or 11, to see him at a walk-in center at Royal Stoke University Hospital in Stoke-on-Trent in Staffordshire last June. Now, Dr. Wolverson said that he asked the woman to remove the veil as he was unable to hear her explain her daughter's symptoms because her speech was muffled by her niqab. Now, according to Dr. Wolverson, the mother complied without raising any objections. But half an hour after the consultation, the woman's husband arrived and declared that he was making a complaint about the doctor's behavior. And her husband did. He ended up making a formal complaint, and Dr. Wolverson was prevented from working at the walk-in center again. Now, it has since emerged that the husband's complaint, very interestingly enough, involves that the woman, having supposedly told the doctor that she did not want to remove her veil on religious grounds. So that's their side of the story now, that the mother of the daughter did not want to remove her veil and said that, but that the doctor refused to continue the consultation unless she removed it. The complaint also includes the allegation that the doctor gave the woman a quote-unquote dirty look when she said she didn't want to remove the veil, and that afterwards this left the wife, quote, shocked and crying. So Hugh Fitzgerald asked this, and I'd also like to ask this. Who do we believe? Dr. Wolverton, who says that the child's mother complied with his request without raising any objection? And if she was so upset and then was crying and was shocked, why did no one else, as Hugh Fitzgerald asks in his blog, why did no one else at the doctor's office see her shocked state or hear her crying? These are the valid questions, important questions that Hugh Fitzgerald asks. He's made several important points in his blog that I'd like to bring up today. Fitzgerald brings up that there are two possible reasons for the woman to have changed her story or to have lied about what happened afterwards. And Fitzgerald points out that she herself might have changed the story to a tale of forced removal so as to avoid being punished by her husband. So she may not have argued, but then afterwards, afraid of her husband, that she had shown her face to the doctor, she might have said that the doctor forced her and that she had articulated the desire not to remove the veil. And the other scenario that the Fitzgerald brings up is that the husband was overall enraged, period, at the doctor's request to his wife and decided to have her change her story and to claim that the doctor had threatened to end the consultation unless she removed her face veil. This is what we're facing in the West now, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of our surrender to Sharia law and our society's self-hatred and its cowardice and inability to stand up for its own values. So Dr. Wolverton has said that he's now leaving no matter what in terms of the investigation looking into him. This is really great. This is really great. We now have doctors that are resigning. Great doctors are resigning because, I don't know, in this particular case, the doctor can't hear what his patient is saying, but it's racist and white supremacist and Islamophobic and all kinds of other words to ask a patient to remove a face veil that's covering her face and muffling her voice. This is considered racist, and the doctor is investigated. And I forgot, once again, what race is Islam again? I keep forgetting. My friends, this is all part, once again, of our suicide and surrender as a civilization. Now doctors are resigning because of this kind of bullying and harassment and libel and slander against them. And my question is, how will this end? And in a way, it's not a very, very good question because we all know how it's ending and how it will end. And it's happening right before our eyes. We'll see you on the next Jamie Glazov moment. Good night.